Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13. Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Vibhaga Yoga. The field and its knower. Free yourself from your bodily identification. This is one of the most famous chapters as it explains about our true self. A true self which is free from the material associations. The matter equipments and their perceived world of objects constitute the field, that is the kshetra, and the underlying supreme consciousness illumining them is called the knower of the field, that is kshetrajna. The knowledge of the distinction between the two alone is called true knowledge. The body, thus, is called the field, and it consists of the five great elements: earth, fire, water, space, and air. The egoism, that is the I sense, me, I sense. The intellect, the vasanas, or the unmanifested. The 10 organs, that is the 5 organs of perception: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin, and 5 sense organs of action: hands, feet, mouth, rectum, and genitals. 5 objects of the senses, that is see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, and the mind. Apart from these 24 factors, the modifications like desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, the assemblage of the body, the intelligence, the steadfastness, all these are also included in the kshetra. The supreme consciousness cannot in reality be described by words. Still, for the purpose of our understanding, he can be thought of as having hands and feet everywhere, eyes, ears, mouth, grasping everything, and face in all directions. He is the transcending spirit, enveloping all that exists in the world, both moving and non-moving, within and without all beings. The generator, the supporter, and the devourer of all beings, seated in the heart of all. This Supreme Self is without a beginning or end, and being devoid of all qualities, even though dwelling in all beings, neither acts nor is tainted. Just as the sun illumines the whole world, good or bad, the Atman merely illumines, that is, it's only a sakshi or a witness. Continuing further, the Lord explains, Prakriti, that is matter, and Purusha, the spirit, are 2 aspects of the Lord. All the changeful objects and attributes that constitute the world of daily experiences are sprung from Prakriti. Prakriti is the cause of the formation and functioning of the body and senses, while it is the Purusha that is the cause for experience of pain and pleasure. Seated in bodies which are the products of Prakriti, the Purusha experiences the objects and qualities born of Prakriti. Attachment to these objects and qualities born of Prakriti is the cause of his, that is the Purusha or spirit, embodiment in good and evil wombs. The Purusha has no samsara, but the Kshetrajna, when it identifies with the field, that is Prakriti, becomes the experiencer. He identifies with the body and senses, which are the effects of Prakriti. So, wherever any being is born, moving or unmoving, it is due to the union of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. And he who sees the Supreme Lord existing equally in everything reaches the highest goal. There is also in this body the Supreme Purusha, the transcendent, the unconcerned witness, the great Lord. Prakriti alone is the cause of all actions. The self or Atman itself is actionless. Just like electricity manifesting itself in fans, lights, fridge, etc., or petrol manifesting itself in cars, scooters, or buses. Though they are not the cause for functioning of the fans, cars, etc., though they are the cause for the functioning of fans, cars, etc., they are not responsible for its performance or otherwise. The performance depends solely on the nature of the fan, car, etc. This concept is really difficult, and in order to be able to perceive this discrimination and attain true knowledge, certain prerequisites are required by the seeker: humility, unpretentiousness, non injury, forgiveness, uprightness, service, purity, steadfastness, self control, indifference to the objects of the senses, absence of egoism, non attachment, constant and unswerving devotion to the Lord, and constant application to spiritual texts and disciplines, and a clear comprehension of the goal of spiritual enlightenment. Concluding, the Lord assures that whoever perceives by spiritual insight, meditation, discipline of knowledge or work, worship, or instructions from teachers or elders, the distinction between Purusha and Prakriti, and of the liberation of the spirit from the hold of Prakriti, they alone reach the Supreme. Thus ends chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, or the Yoga of the field and its knower. As an afterthought, I would like to admit that this particular chapter is a little more difficult to understand, and hence you can go through this particular chapter from any reliable commentaries of this great text. Hari Om Tat Sat.